All right, welcome back, everybody, to another edition of Dollar Bin Digging. This is the article and video that I do for comicbookinvest.com, where I talk about those little hidden treasures, those little books that still might be tucked away, hiding out in those dollar bins, those cheap boxes at your LCS, flea markets, yard sales, wherever you get your cheap comics. These are the things that I think you should be looking for when you're flipping through those boxes. Things that might just not be, not going to be on the wall. These are not wall books. These are all going to be cheap books that are basically just blowout things, the things that might be tucked away, that based on some recent news and announcements might be more interesting and worth picking up. Hopefully you enjoy this series as well as the rest of the stuff here on Rennavision. Let me know what you think in the comments. Please like, subscribe, hit the alert button so you don't miss anything. Make sure you stop by if you're in the area. Check out King Kon II in New Jersey, because I will be there at the Whatnot table with my buddy Ben C, mellow fellow on Whatnot, and we will be meeting and greeting and saying hello to everybody. So come stop by and say hello if you're in the area. Again, that's this Saturday. What is that? March 19th? Yeah, March 19th. So make sure you come check it out if you can make it to King Kon II. I'll put details in the link below. But that being said, if you want to see what books I'm talking about this week, make sure you hang on for a few seconds after the break, and I'll be right back. Okay, so as we've been kind of doing, again, sticking with this same kind of format that I'm kind of enjoying, we are going to be looking at some of the news and announcements, some leaks, some speculation, some things just coming out of both Marvel and DC, and maybe even beyond that as well. So just sit back, relax, and check out some of these picks that I found this from based off of this week's news and some updates. Now, we know we are now getting a solo series ahead of the film for Black Adam. We are going to get another solo series. Black Adam hasn't had many solo series prior to this. In fact, there was decades where he had one appearance and didn't show up forever until he showed back up in the 80s. But his first solo series is probably worth looking at just in case. I mean, we're going to get a new one, but why not take a look at that first one as well? And that one wasn't, that was in 2007. Now everybody knows probably by now the variant, the Alex Ross. Yes, this cover is fantastic. This cover is awesome. I believe this is the 1 in 10 for the series. This is a very, very pricey book and not that easy to come by. But you shouldn't completely ignore the regular book. And I might have talked about this and mentioned this before, but I still think these are worth keeping an eye out for in those cheap boxes. Because otherwise, this is a weird just DC mini that hasn't had a lot of interest or heat on it, but maybe it picks up with the new series. This is, again, from the pages of, New 52, or pages of 52, because this was coming before New 52. We get this Black Adam series, Dark Days, I think, or something like that. I think it's what the subtitled heading is, but it's 6 issues. This is issue 1, but keep an eye out for the whole series, because we're going to talk about another issue in this run in a second. But the sold copies on this issue 1, you can see here, best offer accepted on $15, so $12.50 sale, as well as a $9 sale. These are both, within the last week or so. So that's kind of the going price. It's not a very expensive book just yet, but it's also, it can get you something if you find one in a $1 box. So you might be able to get a few bucks. And as you can see, here are the asking prices right now. You can get it for as cheap as $10, and then you can get some, there's 1 and 2 together for $15, or you can get the whole run, all 6 issues for $35 based on some of these current asking prices. Now, we'll see where it goes from there, but right now, this is where this book is at. And that's just talking about issue 1. Again, a 6-issue series. Granted, the same is going to be said for the rest of them. It's still just going to be cheap books, but I think the other one out of the group that you want to pay attention to is going to be based off of the fact that we know that we are getting Hawkman. And this is just some, fan art, I guess, to see what this current actors, would look like as our Hawkman. But just the idea of Black Adam facing off against Hawkman is kind of exciting, and we can see that here in this miniseries on the cover of issue 3. So this is one I think people might start gravitating towards as we start getting closer and closer, and we start seeing some more footage from the movie. I know it's been pushed back. It's pushed back until what, I think, like next year now. But we will still start seeing some more leaks and footage soon, because it is on the way. It is on the way. So keep an eye out for it. All right, so what is this thing selling for? Well, now you can see there's the lot that sold for best offer on 40 bucks. Another lot sold for $35, and I'm showing you lots because individual copies of issue 3 have not sold recently. One reason or another, nobody's picked up this issue in the recent months for just issue 3, but there are some listed now. If you start looking at some of the current listings, you can see this thing can be as cheap as like 8 bucks, 15 bucks, or up to $24. So those are the asking prices right now for this particular issue. So do yourself a favor, keep an eye on it in those cheap boxes because you don't want to pay these prices when you can grab it for a buck or two. So that's my recommendation, at least, and one that I think is kind of worth grabbing. It's like I said, it's a pretty cool cover, and it's something that will tie into the movie. So people will start looking at this again pretty soon. So keep an eye out for it when you're flipping through those back issue bins and those dollar bins and cheap boxes because, like I said, I think it's worth your time. Up next, the next little bit of news we got is related to Secret Invasion. And Sam Jackson was saying that he can confirm that Martin Freeman is going to be playing the part of Everett Ross again in Secret Invasion. I personally like it. We talked about it when we did the tax show yesterday. I like it when they have that bit of connectivity throughout the projects, like through the MCU. I love seeing when characters show up in other things, like when Jimmy Woo showed up, on WandaVision following his, run on Ant-Man. I like that kind of thing. It makes the universe feel, more realized and again connected. It just feels like it's part of something much, much larger. So seeing Everett Ross again. Plus, I'm a big fan of Martin Freeman. I love Bilbo, so I'm happy to see him come back. And just don't forget his first appearance. His first appearance was in Kazar issue 17. This is from the 1998, I believe. So it's total 90s style. And yeah, the the Everett Ross we get in the comic, at least from his first appearance, is not so much like the one we see on screen. I mean, look at that. I mean, rollerblading with the soul patch kind of goatee thing going while spinning a basketball on his fingertip and drinking a cup of coffee is wow. This is some dated stuff right here, but still pretty cool. And this is still his first appearance, so keep that in mind if you want to go and grab Everett Ross's first, because you can find it for cheap. I'm telling you, go flip through those boxes. Not a lot of people are buying Kazar books. So you can see this thing can sell all right. I mean, 12 bucks one sold for on March 13th, and then a lot of 4 was picked up for only 5 bucks plus shipping, and 4 issues. That's what you got to also look for. Some of these weird, runs, if you're shopping online, that is, look for lots because you might be able to sneak a decent book in a lot for for a good price, like somebody did there for 5 bucks. I think that's a good grab, apart from the fact that you get 3 other issues with it. If you want to look at asking prices, you can see anywhere from like $9 to like $17. So this is 10 to 20 bucks is a kind of going rate for, I mean, many first appearances, right? I mean, any first appearance we hear showing up in any book these days usually spikes a book quite a bit. So why not a character who we know has not only been in MCU material, but will continue to be in the MCU for a little bit longer? So why should we ignore his first? I don't think we should. So keep an eye out for Kazar 17 when you're flipping through those back issue bins, because I'm telling you, it could be worth it. You can grab this for a buck. Absolutely pick this up for $1. Moving back to DC with our next bit of news, our next little item to talk about. We have here DC's non-binary Flash returns in this gender-bent Teen Justice series. So it looks like they're swapping some of the characters out, like gender-wise, for this future state kind of Teen Titans or Teen Justice series, I should say. But what is interesting that we are getting, a non-binary character. If it's not your thing, I get it, then you don't have to buy it. And not everything is for everybody. But I do like the idea of more representation personally in comic books. So I think this is a good step forward to have new characters created that people can relate to. Again, doesn't bother me. I think it's a good idea. And this character showed up a couple of times. Uh, if you're a preview collector, then you could probably find it in these DC Connect previews. Like I think the first DC Connect preview, where you see this character on the cover, is in issue 6 of DC Connect, and inside of that you get a little snippet preview of Justice League, the Future State Justice League, which has the character right there down below in the middle. See that way down there in small. So that's really the little bit you're going to get kind of teased in those previews. That's if that's your thing. I know a lot of people buy that stuff these days. So if you find those things like in a dollar box, sometimes it's kind of worth just grabbing a preview book because it's only a buck. It's a fun little collectible. Go ahead and grab something like that. But Justice League, Future State Justice League #1 does have a good solid appearance here, but it's not the first. We'll get to the first, but This book, this Justice League, this came out in like January, I believe, and you can see more. 225 this can sell for even online. This is pretty cheap. You can still sneak these for pretty cheap. For the most part, you're going to find this for cover price though. If you're looking still, most of these, $4, $5. I mean, yeah, somebody's asking like close to 10, but that's with free shipping. So it is basically a cover price book online, and a lot of shops might have this at a discount. These future state books. So it's something just to be mindful of and keep an eye out for, whether it be in a dollar box or a half off cover or something like that. However, your shop runs their discounts, just something to be mindful of and take a look at. That this future state Justice League is kind of close to the Justice League we're going to be getting very soon in the DCU proper, I guess. But with that all said, anyway, the first appearance of Kid Quick is going to be in this DC's Very Merry Multiverse #1. This 80-page giant is where we're actually getting the first appearance of the character, if that's what you are looking for. It's going to be tough to find this book in a dollar bin because this is an 80-page giant. So it came with a $10 cover price. So a lot of shops aren't going to probably discount it that much, but you never know. Just in case, keep an eye out for it in those discount boxes because so you can see right there at the top of the page, that's where we're getting the first appearance of Kid Quick, Jess Chambers, right there, the non-binary Flash, first appearance in this Very Merry Multiverse #1. Again, this is going to be a tough find in a dollar bin because, like I said, it is very thick and it was an expensive cover, so the chances of finding it for that cheap are pretty slim. But if you can still find it at a discount, it might be worth your effort there because this thing can sell for anywhere in like 10, $13, which is basically just cover or a little bit over. And the asking prices, however, are basically about $20. Like most of them are asking double cover at this point. So while you may be able to find one still cheap, this is a book to keep an eye on because there's a lot in it. I mean, apart from that, there's a lot. 80 pages gives you a lot of opportunity for some material. So just keep an eye on this book in general. Now, moving on to our next little bit of news. I think in an interview that came out recently, Kevin Feige was saying that the Doctor Strange, the Sam Raimi's Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, will make some Evil Dead fans happy. Now, what does he mean by that? A lot of the interview text was relating to, well, they want they want a Sam Raimi movie, a Sam Raimi action, some of his sensibilities, some of the things he likes to do with the camera. Uh, yes, we could probably expect to see it, the Doctor Strange movie. But thinking just a little bit deeper into it, you're mentioning Evil Dead, making Evil Dead 2 fans happy. Is it just because it looks like we're getting a zombie Strange and possibly a zombie Wanda? Maybe. I mean, that is a pretty cool look there for a zombie Strange. And yes, Marvel Zombies all first came in that Ultimate Fantastic 422. Probably not going to find that in dollar bins any longer, but be aware of this book in case you do come across it, obviously. But just something interesting to kind of keep an eye out for. While it's not the time chronologically when the book came out, but I think historically, this issue here of Marvel Zombies Dead Days, which I think is a one shot, kind of tells the origin story of like the Marvel zombie universe. So we are getting our first in that universe appearance chronological. I don't know how you want to say it. Story wise, this would be the creation, I guess, of the zombie Doctor Strange. So I don't know, it's just a fun book, an interesting read. Plus, it has a pretty awesome you know homage cover to X-Men #1 that folds out, as you can see here. Pretty cool. I kind of dig it. Zombified. I like these homages with the zombie covers personally, and this is a great one to do because I'm a big Jim Lee X-Men fan, so this one speaks to me. So if you can find this one shot in those cheap boxes, definitely keep an eye on it. What's this thing sell for? Well, it's only selling for like $10, $8.99 plus shipping on March 12th. So it's not a super, duper like hit if you find it, but who knows as time goes on here. When you look at asking prices, it can be anywhere as cheap as $7, $13, or anywhere up to $40 for a newsstand. So keep an eye out for those newsstands as well, because a lot of people like collecting the newsstands. And when we're talking about this kind of time frame, newsstands we're getting tougher and tougher to find. So they are a little bit more of a rarity, and people do like collecting that. So be mindful of that as well, because you can see the difference in price, the asking price right there, $40 if you can find yourself a newsstand. Now, another thing I think that it would be interesting to keep an eye out for, as it relates to this tease about, I know it's Evil Dead 2, but let's not forget the third movie in the series was Army of Darkness, and there was a Marvel Zombies Army of Darkness crossover. So I'm not saying we're gonna get Ash showing up in the MCU, but I think it would be kind of cool if we did. Who knows? It is a multiverse of madness after all, right? Maybe we can get it in there. we'll see. But I do kind of like this series as well. Again, another pretty awesome homage to Uncanny was 142. But this is another one I would keep an eye out for because I could see something. I don't know if they're teasing Evil Dead and Sam Raimi, why not? Just go the whole nine. Even if it's just a quick cameo, quick scene, I still think it would be pretty cool if they did work this in. Maybe not now, but maybe it's down the line. We'll see. But this Marvel Zombies Army of Darkness crossover, you can see this is still like a $10 book for this issue one. That's at least the most recent sale, March 6th, so that's not too far back. And you can see the asking prices could be anywhere from $12 to up to $32 for this one. So, yeah, asking prices will vary, but keep an eye out again in those cheap boxes. I know the very early Marvel Zombies can be tough to find, and they've gotten pretty expensive. But there's a lot of different series, and some of them just kind of become filler. So I know I've come across plenty of Zombies books when we're flipping through a box. So might as well keep an eye out for some of these, like this Army of Darkness crossover. Yeah, 5-issue mini. So look for all 5 of them, I would say. Yeah, if you're looking in those dollar boxes. Now, our last little bit of, I guess, movie news, TV news, well, this is technically TV news that could relate to comics, comes with this one. It's a little bit of a stretch. We're going to relate this to comics, but Alexandra Daddario is set to play Rowan Mayfair in an AMC's Mayfair Witches adaptation. Now, who are the Mayfair Witches? Well, they are featured here in The Witching Hour by Anne Rice. Yes, this novel by Anne Rice is now being turned into a series. So why should we care? We should care because they did have comics. There is a comic adaptation, so that's what I'm saying you should be mindful of. Keep an eye out for these. Why not? If people are looking for an Interview with the Vampire books and Hellraiser books and all these other oddball things, why not? If this show ends up being a hit, people might start gravitating towards these comics. So, hey, why not look for these in a dollar bin? I'm not saying go out and spend a lot of money on this series. I'm saying when you're flipping through a box and you see some Millennium Comico books, why not just say, you know what? Let me look for this Witching Hour. Anne Rice's The Witching Hour. This is number 1. It is a 5-issue mini. See 2 here. These are the covers, so this to keep you mindful of. Number 3, I really dig this cover, so this is one I would look for because I just think it's just really cool. It's a nice painted kind of quality image there. I like that one. Issue 4 here. Looks like we just got some jewelry laid out. Looks almost like a Sandman cover. And then we have this number 5 where this wraps up the series. So keep an eye out for all of them. I mean, why not? We're talking about dollar bin pickups. It's not a huge investment. You never know what's going to happen. Currently with this series, you can see here just today, issues 1 and 2 sold for $9. So issues 1 and 2 together sold for $9. And when you check out the asking prices, issue 1's like $4.50 to like $8 on its own. But for whatever reason, the only sets are pretty expensive. So if you can find all 5, look, $100. So just keep that in mind as well. So if you could find all 5 in a dollar bin and you get 5 for $5, you might be able to do all right. I mean, I'm not saying you're going to get $100 or even the person selling theirs for 100 is going to get 100, but you can come in at half and be that undercutter. All I'm saying is it's worth just paying attention to and keeping an eye out for it. That's all. Just some fun stuff to go looking for, just kind of scavenger hunt based off of this week's news. These are the things I'm kind of flipping and looking for. So I figured I'd share it and see if you guys find it interesting too. Let me know what you think when you hit me up in the comments. Hopefully you're enjoying this as well as the rest of the stuff here. Like I said, on the channel, I appreciate you all stopping by and checking this out. These are the kind of little books I decided to kind of flip through for this week. And like I said, let me know what you think. Let me know what you think we should all be looking for. Make some suggestions. And I'll be happy to work them into future installments for this series. So let's just keep this, community going. Let's keep growing this thing. And like I said, hopefully you like this series as well as the rest of stuff here. I appreciate you all, and I will see you guys soon with some more content.